Right guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are when you're watching this. So today we're looking at this lesson. This is understanding overfishing. This is part of the environment and urbanization unit. So this is the first unit in listing 3. And in the previous lesson you might have looked at this. Leisure time in the 21st century, or you might have looked at, I think this is work habits in the 21st century. Yeah? So some very nice lessons there with some very useful language that signals new ideas, that signals transitions from one idea to another. That's very useful language. And in here we've got language that signals definitions. Yeah? So also some very useful language in there. Right, so today's lesson, understanding overfishing. Quite a nice lesson, I quite like this one. So what I'd like you to do first is think about these questions. What is overfishing? Why do you think it's a problem? What problems can overfishing lead to? And what can be done to stop overfishing? Okay, so you can pause the video. Think about those questions, and when you're ready to resume, please resume this video. Okay. Okay, so let me give you my answers to what I think overfishing is. I think it's fairly self-explanatory. Yes, it's fishing too many fish. Yeah, maybe taking small fish out of the water. Maybe taking too many fish out of the water, maybe taking too many small fish out of the water. Why do you think it's a problem? Well, because if we take too many fish, there won't be enough fish for the future. Maybe for next year, or for 10 years' time, or for 20 years' time. If we take fish out before those fish have had babies, then there will be far, far fewer fish. Yeah? So what problems can fishing lead to? The most immediate problems are lack of fish, but of course big ecosystem problems as well. The animals, the creatures that those fish eat will not get eaten, and the creatures that eat fish will also not be able to survive. So what can be done to stop overfishing? Education is a big one. Legislation is also quite important. Yeah. Right, okay, so understanding overfishing. I should just be able to do this, and if I put Ted here, here we go. Right, okay, so it's called Ending Overfishing. So this is the video that you need. It's on your course page. You can also find it through Google by Googling Understanding Overfishing. Yeah, so it's this video, 4 minutes 20. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to watch the video, listen, and write the numbers that you hear. Okay, there will be lots of numbers. We're only interested in the numbers that we hear, not the numbers that we see. Okay, that's important. Yeah, listen and write the numbers that you hear. Okay, all right, so watch the video. Quite difficult. There's a lot of numbers that come quite quickly. So watch the video and write the numbers that you hear. Okay, pause this video, and when you're ready to resume, and we will look at this together. Right, okay, wow, lots of numbers. Yeah, lots of numbers. If you got some of these or most of these, then very well done. Yeah, so 7 billion, 30%, 70%, 1.2 billion, 60 years, 90%.
I will make you preschool.
Less than 50 years, 1.4 billion, 23,000 square meters, 413, more than 500 tons. Let me turn off my printable characters. 80 to 90%, 1 kilo, 9 kilos, 47%, 5 kilos, 1 kilo, 2008, 10,000 tons, 29,500 tons, 3 times, 61,000 tons, 6 times, and the last one, is it really a number? Billions of euros. Yeah, billions of euros. Okay, if you got some or most of those, very well done, because that's not very straightforward. Yeah. Okay, so we've completed these. We've written some numbers here. Now we're going to watch the video again and add some information about the number. Okay, so 7 billion. What does 7 billion mean? Yeah, so watch the video again. You might need to stop the video and rewind and rewatch, because the information comes quite quickly and there's quite a lot of information to write down. Yeah. So for each number, what does it mean? Okay, so pause this video and we will check these answers when we return. Right, okay, so the tape script is on Schoology. 7 billion people living on 30% of its surface. Okay, so 7 billion people in the world. Yeah? 30% of its surface. Let me turn these into numbers. All of them depend on 70% of the remaining ocean. The ocean is the largest source of food. So it's food for 1.2 billion people. Yeah, so 1.2 billion people depend on the ocean. In the last 60 years, stocks have fallen by about 90%. In less than 50 years, the collapse of all fishing within 50 years. So 1.4 billion hooks a year, 23,000 square meters. That's the size of the cast nets that these shipping vessels deploy. 4 full football pitches, 13 jumbo jets, 500 tons of fish. 80 to 90%, that's bycatch. 47% is farmed fish. Five kilos of captured wild fish are needed to produce 1 kilo of farm-reared salmon. So 2008, so this is all about the fishing limits. 10,000 tons was the recommended fishing limit. The fishing nations decided on this higher limit, which was 3 times, and then this 61,000 tons is what was actually caught. Yeah? Billions of euros of subsidies. Okay, so this is money paid to fishermen. Yeah? Okay, so this tape script is on your course page. So if you need to revisit it to clarify what some of these numbers mean, then please do that. Right, now, using this information, can we answer these questions? Yeah? So there's about 8 questions. Using this information, we can watch the video again if we need to. Using this information, can we answer these questions? Okay, pause this video and we will check our answers together when you come back. Okay, so question 1, the largest source of food, quite easy, the ocean. All of them are depending on the remaining 70%. The ocean. Yeah, so we depend on the ocean. How many people in the world? Okay, well that's quite an easy question. 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion people. Describe the cast nets. Okay. Cast nets, okay, so 23,000 square meters. So that's one fact. The size of 4 football pitches, that's another. Big enough to hold 13 jumbo jets, that's another fact. And 500 tons of fish. And lots of bycatch. Okay, so we've got lots of facts here about the cast nets. What is bycatch? Bycatch is, so this is a language that signals a definition, which we learnt about in that lesson about leisure time. Yeah, so bycatch is marine creatures incidentally caught, often in large quantities. So fish and other creatures that we catch that we didn't mean to catch. Yeah. What's the problem with farm fishing? Problem with farm fishing. Farm fish are carnivorous. They eat smaller fish, so that's a problem. Also here, 5 kilos of captured fish are needed to produce just 1 kilo of farm-reared salmon. Aquaculture converts low-value small fish into high-value big fish. It doesn't create more fish. Okay, so this is the key detail here. And we saw in the video, we saw the graphic of small fish going in, lots of small fish going in, and just a few big fish going out. So give details of the limits. So the 2008 limits. 10,000 tons was recommended. 29,000 tons is what the fishing nations decided. Fishing nations, okay, so countries with a lot of seawater, yeah, so the UK, Norway, maybe Finland, Sweden, Denmark, yeah, Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, of course, yeah, all of these nations with lots of seawater. So they decided on their own fishing limit, 29,000 tons. And then 61,000 tons, this is what was actually caught. Yeah, so what was recommended, what the fishing nations decided, and the reality. What's the problem with fishing limits? Well, they're a bit arbitrary, yes, and they're not adhered to. Nobody seems to take them seriously. How do we end the issue of overfishing? Here. Encourage and support your politicians to make responsible decisions. Yeah. Well, that's quite a nice, interesting lesson about overfishing. If you need to watch the video again, of course, please do. If you need to use this tape script, which you can find on your Schoology page, then of course do that. Okay. Let's just preview what lesson is coming next. Coming next, maybe something like the Silk Road. That's quite a nice lesson, the Silk Road. And then also in Unit 1. Okay, then we move on to Unit 2. Right. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has been useful to you. Any questions, you can always leave a comment in this YouTube comment section. Okay, right, bye-bye.